are right. It is leaning heavy to this side. Glad to see everyone here with us as visitors. If you're visitors, we are so excited you're here. And as Dennis was saying, you got that little portion there on your bulletin. The rest of the bulletin's wrong. That one side's right. Right? And that's an easy way to communicate with us. If you have something you want to say, if you want me to come visit you or whatever, all those things, you can write that down on there. You don't have to check the box. Just write a note and drop it in the offering plate outside, and we'll be glad to get in touch with you. Because that's what we want to do when we get in communication. We won't force ourselves upon you. We just, hey, if you want to talk to us that way, right? We prefer to be gentlemen instead of pounding on doors and stuff if need be. So anyway, we are excited to have you here with us this morning. I was warned that because we had breakfast this morning, there might be some yawning faces out there. So we turned the air on. Not really. But it was running just a minute ago, and I thought about that. That's worked pretty good, right? Keep you cold, stay awake. I'm not real good at clapping and keeping people awake, so but we'll do our best. And we wanted to, as I was thinking through what to preach on this morning, Easter's always different. It's different from the cycle you're typically in as you're preaching through things. And so what Mike said just a minute ago couldn't have been a better introduction for what I'm talking about this morning, because the title of my sermon is What is Truth? What is truth? And it's found in John 18, verses 33 through 38, because that's one of the questions I think we deal with the most today is what is truth? And so if you haven't turned there already, or as you're turning there, I wanted to share this little brief story with you. It's about a woman who went to the beach with her son. Actually, her children, but her son noticed this. Her 4-year-old son ran up to his mother, and he grabbed her hand, and he pulled her over to the shore where a dead seagull was lying in the sand. And so he said, "Mommy, what happened to him?" And she said, "Well, he died and he went to heaven." And the child thought for a moment, and then he said, "And God threw him back down." I thought about that, and I said, that's funny, right? That's a funny story. But it speaks a lot of truth when you think about it. Because it's really hard sometimes to know the truth in the world that's full of confusion. Or so it seems. That joke that I just shared, as funny as it was, really highlights much of what we see in the world today. The young mother, and I'll call her young there, the young mother did what most mothers would, I believe, in the same situation. She took a moment to explain death in such a way that her little 4-year-old son could see the reality that heaven was real, that God was real, and that, yes, there was a way to heaven. Now, that's simple, right? And yes, I know she didn't go into detail. She didn't share the gospel. I get all that in a joke. I get it. But what she did do was point to something that was bigger than both she and her son. And her son, representing the world, did what? Well, we laughed at it, right? But what did he do? He said, or more importantly, he asked the question, and God threw him back down? You see the world today questions God's actions. Questions whether even God exists or not. Or questions the thought that there could be even anything, any truth that exists beyond our own selves. Try it. Go to a college campus one day. Go to a college campus and grab the closest student. Maybe grab 5 or 10. You want to get a good representative sample of people. Get about 10 college students there and ask them what is truth. And if it's a secular college campus, I guarantee probably 2 things will happen, maybe more. I don't know. I'll pick up 2 this morning. Number 1, you're going to get a lot of different answers of what truth is. And yet each one is going to declare that their answer is the truth. Or number 2, you're going to get laughed at. And you say, well, why would I get laughed at when I ask someone the question of what is truth? Well, because the truth either scares people or it comforts them. Now this Easter, that's what we're going to be looking at today. That, my friends, is the age-old question that we will ask today, all personified by a man by the name of Pontius Pilate, by name, who stood before the truth and had the audacity to ask the question, what is truth? So if you would, as I ask every Sunday, if you would please stand with me as we read God's Word, John 18, verses 33 through 38. I think it's so important to read it together. We're going to look at what this is transpiring here in the Bible. And it's good to open up with the word of the Lord. So let's hear the word of the Lord this morning. Verse 33. So Pilate entered his headquarters again and called Jesus and said to him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And Jesus answered, "Do you say this of your own accord, or did others say to you about me?"